What up, fish and football peeps? Kenny E with the crew tonight. We got, of course, my buddy Chattanooga Ed. We got Mr. Skipper over here, and we got Jimmy P down there. Now, I will warn you guys in advance, tonight's not going to be as it normally is here because they're building parts of a road around the corner from me, and some decided to blow out our internet. This is what I'm looking at. There will be trouble, they're saying. So if I cut it in and out, at least my three amigos up here still will be regular internet. So hopefully everything works itself out. That is why I look so disproportionate tonight, because I am streaming from my phone. If the sound's a little sketch, that's probably it as well. But Ed, congratulations. Your Chiefs pulled it off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Woohoo! No.
Final four, Ed. Final four.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm used to that. This is just 5 years in a row
Yeah, well,
hosting at home.
getting kind of cocky, aren't you? Why don't you start
Yep.
peacocking around the room for us?
I
How
would,
many
but I
Super
got
Bowls in
vertigo.
5 years?
Well, we've got one. How many has the Vikings gotten in the last 30?
Oh my God!
Oh,
Hey, I'm here to help Kenny talk about the Vikes tonight. I was a big Vikings fan when I was a kid because they were on the CBS network a lot when I was a kid. You know, when they only showed one game a week, and I saw them a lot. Unfortunately,
Purple people eaters?
I also saw the Raiders on NBC. So, you know, whatever.
Were they the purple people eaters back then?
Yeah, absolutely. I go back farther than Kenny does. I remember Joe Cap and
Howard Cosell?
well,
This
he didn't
is
play.
Howard
He didn't play for the
Cosell.
Vikings.
No, but he announced them.
Well, yeah, the Monday night thing. I remember vividly the first Monday night game, and I thought, wow, this is something, you know, because it was another game I could see on the network, you know.
What year? Do you remember?
I think that was around 1970. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember that.
And I was no, you
the
would
league
no, Skipper.
merged.
You were still.
The leagues were
I
merging
don't know
right
where
around
you were at that time, Skipper.
Let me interrupt real quick. You got a $2 super chat from Fish On Tactics.
what's going on, Fish On? Thank you much, brother.
Yeah, we can see super chats in StreamYard, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, but you can't see the member stuff when they put it up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I got the YouTube chat up on the side here. We're good.
He didn't make a
All right.
sticker or say anything. He just gave you $2, Kenny.
He's like,
Just $2 for being you.
Nice. So
Let me test you.
Hellos, I hope. So we got.
Let me
Fish
test
On
you guys
taking
real quick.
First tonight.
Oh, Kenny's not moving, but his mouth is talking. Let me quiz you real quick. I was a St. Louis football Cardinals fan back then. You guys remember Charlie Johnson and Bill Triplett and Larry Wilson and Larry Stallings and Jim Bakken? Come on, Kenny.
Crickets, man.
so
The last two I've heard of, but that's because I was born in St. Louis, and I was a Cardinals fan when I was a little baby, but I really didn't know too many of the players, you know, as a little
How about
kid.
Jim Hart? Anybody know
Oh,
Jim
yeah.
Hart?
Jim Hart's famous, though.
Well, Kenny's not. Kenny's sitting there like he's watching a Vikings game.
That's all I've got this year, man. I'm so footballed out.
yeah.
But
Well,
everybody's like, oh, Cousins is going to get. What did I tell
Hey.
y'all?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was watching the same game you were watching, Kenny. He didn't play. He didn't play defense that day, Kenny.
Mm.
You know, I moved to St. Louis, and the Cardinals moved out the same year, 88.
Well, thanks, Ed. Thank you for that.
Yep. Well, that's why I moved to the Illinois side, so it'd be a little more incognito.
I started
I agree.
kindergarten in '88.
I agree with you. So, Kenny,
You tell
when did you
people.
go ahead?
Oh, go ahead. Well, you tell people that you lived in Illinois, and they never think that you lived in St. Louis because they just don't picture the two together.
Mhm.
Correct. And St. Louis is right
You picture
on the
Chicago when you
border.
say Illinois.
Mhm.
Kenny,
Right.
when did you become a Vikings fan?
I would have bet mine was probably around 71, 72.
Okay. All right. And Skipper, what about you and the Steelers?
Oh, since I was born.
So you just grew up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
they were
I also like the Miami Dolphins too.
interesting.
I love
Yeah.
Dan Marino. He was from Pittsburgh.
Well, that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
And
wow.
actually, a lot of people may or may not know this. Dan Marino, they passed him up and got Terry Bradshaw. And if they would have kept Dan Marino, I do believe they would have won more Super Bowls. Not Terry Bradshaw. It was it was right after him. I'm gonna have to look it up because now I forget. But yeah, he was actually. They weren't going to pick him if a different quarterback didn't get it. Now I'm going to have to look it up because now it's going to bother me.
Uh-oh.
But he ended up going to Miami instead.
Once we do a real show, I'm going to have papers and have a computer ready so I can bring up exactly when people were from different times for us.
Yeah, because Dan Marino was with them in the 80s.
Neil
What do you
O'Donnell.
think, Ed? Should we name our new channel Football Freaks?
Well, you could. I mean, I don't know. Let's think about it because we may want to incorporate it all sports talk.
There's only one sport.
I kind of figured. Yeah, I kind of figured Kenny was going to say that.
How about old jocks?
Yeah.
Old jocks.
How about freaky jocks?
Oh, my God.
Sweaty jocks.
What do you cats think, man? What should we name our? If we spin off and do another sports type channel, what do y'all think that we should name the channel? I like hockey too, Long Family. I'm an avid Blackhawks fan.
And we do a Fish Fam baseball.
That's interesting. Yeah, Ed and I follow a lot of baseball. I know that.
I would love hockey though too.
Oh, hockey too. Yeah.
I like the Cubbies as far as baseball, and then for basketball, I'm a Bulls fan.
Gosh. Well, I still like you, Kenny. When I grew up, we were taught to hate any team from Chicago. Sorry about that.
Too, you know, they got
Now,
where
did you grow up?
Row, I'd probably hate us too. Who?
Jimmy, where did you grow up?
I was born and raised in St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why he hates Chicago so
Well, that's
much.
pretty
We
cool.
beat that ass when the Blackhawks were in their glory days.
Yeah, but I believe the Blues have won a cup more recently than the Blackhawks. So, you know.
Yeah.
There
But
is
not
that.
as many.
It took 52 years to do it. I was there for all 52 years
Hey.
too, Kenny.
Our Cubbies
I wasn't.
got a World
As soon
Series,
as I
so-
moved out, they won.
Well, there you go, Ed.
I was never alive for a Blues Stanley Cup win game because they went to the Stanley Cup 4 years during the
Right.
expansion years, and they
Right.
lost all 4 series every game in those series.
Yep.
The Montreal and Boston, I think, were the 2 teams they played twice. But
That is
so they
correct.
never even won a Stanley Cup game. And I move out of town, and my Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and the Blues won the Stanley Cup. Unbelievable.
Well, what does that tell you, Ed?
I don't know. My friends don't like to have fun with me because I wasn't able to go to the big parties.
So you follow baseball. Who is your favorite baseball team?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, the Royals.
That figures. Yeah. See, that's no good either. That's no good. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to football. I don't have a team anymore. Ed knows that I told Ed that I followed the St. Louis Rams when they were in town, and the Cardinals before that. And when the Rams move out here to California, I said the heck with that because I think that was a dirty deal that they moved. And they did it real sneaky too. Believe me. You should have seen all the news in St. Louis because I was following it online. They were lying and cheating and oh my God. And so they're out here, but I don't give a crap about the Rams. And here I am in the LA TV market, and that's all I get to see, So I'm not very happy.
The Raiders moved to Vegas.
Exactly. Yeah, my stepson's got the NFL package, so I can go over to his house and watch anything I want. But he's Raiders every week, and I understand. He was a fan since he was a little boy with his dad, so that's cool.
I never had really any hatred against the Raiders. In my time, whenever I was growing up, whenever I was watching, like, damn, they hit hard. Like that was one of the roughest, toughest teams there for a while. I'm trying to remember his name. It'll come to me here later, but he went from the Rams to Denver Broncos. He played on the defense, and when that dude hit, because he was like a safety.
Okay. Shoot.
When he hit, dude, he folded dudes up. Like, I was like, man, I really like this guy. And I would, whenever it was on, over here in Pennsylvania, you very rarely get to see a Raiders game. I watched it because of that rough and tough the way they were.
Oh yeah, they had that reputation. They did, and that's why they were popular from a lot of people.
Their defense used to hurt people. Like,
shoot, I know who you're talking about. I do. Can you imagine how many players' names I got stuck in my head if I've been watching for over 50 years? Oh my God. Who is that guy?
I think of defensive backs right now. I think of all their defensive linemen.
Was it Tatum? No, not Tatum. Last name?
I'm going to see if I can. Oh, Romanowski.
Oh, Romanowski. Oh, well, that's more recent.
He's a linebacker.
That's more recent. Yeah. I thought you were going back to the 80s.
I said the 90s.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
It was Romanowski. That dude, man, he could hit. Whew. And he wasn't big. Like, he wasn't like Troy Polamalu size. Like, he was smaller than him, and he could hurt somebody.
Yeah, he was pretty nasty.
He was dirty too. He spit in people's faces.
I do remember that, Ed. I remember that. Yeah.
But, dude, I'm telling you, that guy, if he's hurt a couple quarterbacks too, because he come from the backfield right in. It was crazy.
Also, the last news about him, he had some gig going on with his wife where she was saying she was doing a charity and it was for him, and she was getting money from all the girls, I think, like from the PTA and stuff, to donate money, and then they were just keeping it.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's still in Denver. There was some type of scandal like that his wife was part of.
He's from Connecticut, it says.
Maybe he moved out of Denver when they found out he was doing the scandal.
I'll tell you what.
That's where he was born.
Yeah. Even Skipper's old enough to remember football when it was a little more physical. And since Kenny's favorite player on the Vikings is the quarterback, what do you guys think of the quarterback rules that you can't even breathe on them anymore?
I'm going to tell you right now, these guys would not last in those football days. These quarterbacks would not last. They're too fragile.
I mean, I understand the safety thing, but come on already. You know? What do you think,
Yeah.
Kenny?
And I'm even going to tell you this. Big Ben, he was a wuss. All right? He did good. He did what he did. But I'm going to tell you right now, he was always getting hurt. My ankle, my thumb. Like, come on, dude.
I know.
Back then, it didn't matter. In the 90s and later, these guys would not have lasted in football in those days.
So do you think they've gone too far with the rules, guys?
No.
Oh, I definitely think so.
No?
Some of them.
Why not, Kenny?
I think there needs to be something put in place because there were a lot of defensive players that would engage to take a quarterback out. I think there had to be some rules established.
But when they just fall on the quarterback, like earlier this year,
the newest set of rules I don't like. I don't like where the guy's making a clean tackle and happens to land on a guy. I don't like that. No. But I'm saying I do believe some sort of rules had to be put in place because guys were literally trying to take them out. I mean,
Okay, well, I agree with that. I do.
Chris Jones had sacked Burrows in the first game and stripped the ball. And he fell on Burrows, and that dirtbag referee called a penalty on Chris Jones for not putting two hands on the ground. But he's holding a ball.
I know.
So what he did, that was how the Chiefs lost to Cincinnati earlier this year at the end of the game, like that. So, but that referee won't be in there on Sunday.
No.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that he won't be doing the game.
Yeah, because stuff like that's ridiculous. Some of the plays, or the calls. And I'm like,
he's called so many against the Chiefs. It's terrible. He almost had Houston beat the Chiefs because he called so many penalties against the Chiefs. That was the last game that he got to ref the Chiefs because they were like, this is so ridiculous. Because we'd already filed paperwork against him. And, yeah.
Wow.
So I want to know what you all think about, all right, say we're going after a quarterback or a running back, and we're doing a dive tackle. Can you change where your body's going when you're doing a dive tackle?
No.
So when that dude's feet is off the ground and he hits him and that dumbass, crouches down, they do helmet to helmet, whose fault is it? That one, I hate that one so bad because James Harrison, the last 2 years he's with the Steelers, he got hit hard with that because that's the way he tackled. Like, something like that, I call bull crap. Somebody else should have been paying attention while dude's in midair. And even for other teams, I've seen that. And I just think that one thing, one of those, that one, it bothers me because they can't help it.
There it is.
I didn't rewatch that yet.
The famous sculpture.
Yep. That's the top of June's trophy.
Oh my God.
But the other one, you guys want to see Ryan's? Because Ryan's here.
That one looks nice. That one really looks nice.
It does. I have to buy some more.
I thought you said Ryan was getting the other one because he's a Raiders fan.
No, they voted that Ryan got the glow-in-the-dark rocks. So I need to buy a little more stuff to fill it to the top. But Ryan's is coming out really good.
Yeah, that's
never got hot.
That's the best. Yeah.
Awesome.
So this Ryan will get one of the very first ever trophies in the world. And I need to find a good place.
That should have been my trophy. I've won both leagues last year.
Oh my.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. That's all you get, Kenny, is a poor guy.
He got shafted.
Shafted.
And speaking of the fantasy league, I know it's a long way off, but you guys said you're going to expand the number of leagues. And
3 to
If we
4
have
leagues
people
next
sign
year,
up.
depending on participation.
yeah,
Yeah. We'll do as many leagues as if we have 100 people want to play, we'll make 10 leagues, you know? So we'll make as many leagues as it is for people that want to play. We aren't going to hold anybody back.
It
so
was just it was
most
just
of the
work.
most of the football leagues I played in has 10 teams, and that gives you a nice waiver wire. You know,
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
one of the issues that we had was whenever people were getting hurt, there was nothing you could do.
you're not kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It was like real life football.
yeah, I came out.
You get an injury, you're done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was getting I was winning and everything, and then a few dudes got hurt, and I couldn't pick nobody up that was worth it.
Well, heck,
Yeah.
didn't Buffalo Photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Larry, is that
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Wasn't he playing Sam Darnold in the final?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even check.
I
But
think he
See, that's
that's just like real football. If a guy gets hurt mid-season, you're not going to go find a starting quarterback.
listen, it's a fantasy, okay?
to the guy
Yeah,
who won
Sam-
both leagues last year.
There wasn't 12 people then, I guarantee it.
I don't think it was it?
Ours was 14-team league this year.
This year,
Yeah,
yeah.
last year was 10 and 10, I think. And
Yeah,
then
well,
Kenny and I were also in a league of 4. That
Oh,
was really
my.
weird.
Oh,
Did
that
we
would
play 2 quarterbacks in that league, Kenny?
I can't remember, man. It's been too long.
that would have been different. Like, oh man.
well, you talk about having people to pick from. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll touch it all right, Ryan. You bring it over here talking that crap to me, I'll end up in the bottom of one of my big tanks.
Oh, poor Ryan.
Oh, that's nice. Kablunk. Whoa.
Oh, no.
I went like this and did the drop motion, but then I look over and the Oscar and the Vieja are just going at it, man.
Because I gave him something really different tonight.
What'd you give them?
I gave him
Gave him some steroids.
Yeah, they're going nuts for whatever you did. They're fighting each other for it.
I gave him a little bit of axolotl food.
That's a lot of
Yep.
food.
You gave him protein.
Hi, Danny.
Hi.
Hi, Danny.
Hello.
Oh, bye.
She'll come back with donuts.
He did play Sam Donaldson in his Super Bowl attempt to win, rushed the ball for 32 yards and passed the ball for 43.
There you go.
Oh my God.
That's painful.
No knock against you, Ryan, but I think you maybe had that game won before you even started, okay?
Well, he had to play a backup too. He played Pickett.
Oh, that's right, he did. Yeah.
So that's interesting. It was a game. Ryan was supposed to score 141. He scored 127, and Larry was supposed to score 118, and he scored 106. So it was a low-scoring affair.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I'm telling you, some of those are rough, dude.
Zach Moss was the big winner for Ryan. He played Zach Moss, and he picked up 114 yards and a rushing touchdown and 3 receptions for 26 points.
Wow.
Yeah, I've only been playing fantasy something since it came out way a long time ago. You'd think I'd know by now. You know what gets me every year in playoffs is the last week of the season. If you have a final in your league, a lot of the starters don't play a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that gets me every time. It gets me every
I
time.
hate that. Oh, let's see.
It actually
Ryan
gets
has said a whole
ugly.
bunch of stuff.
He's talking gibberish.
Oh,
Moss also came off the bench. Yep, he did. And see, Ryan cashed in on that,
yeah.
on the second stringer coming in.
So Larry got the shaft, and Ryan got the bonus.
Yeah.
But he still picked him. He put him in the lineup,
I got to tell you, though, I had fun doing this. My first time ever doing it, and I was in both leagues, and I had a blast. Like it actually got me a little bit more back into football. Like there was a point to where no, I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Because it got, we ain't gonna go there. But I was just like,
Yeah.
no, I can't do this right now. I need a break. And then I remember last year y'all doing the fantasy thing. I was like, no. Then me and Ed got to talking some more. I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I got hooked. Then
Yeah, it's like it.
Yeah, it's a
and
lot of
see,
fun.
If I didn't play fantasy football, I'd only watch the Chiefs. But this makes all the games interesting.
yeah, and that's like the ESPN highlights is the best thing to watch. Like you could see how well they did. And I started watching that again because I actually used to watch that quite a bit because I was always curious in how other people were doing. Because if your team came up against them, it's just nice to know whether it's worth watching or not. You know what I mean? But it got me back into it.
If we do have to have 10 leagues though next year, maybe Kenny and I will both have to just host 5 different leagues, and he'll have to be a commissioner of 5 and I'll be a commissioner, because that'd be hard to run 10
I'd help
teams.
you out, Ed.
Well, yeah, but would you still want, because the draft is so much fun online, and we'll have the sports channel to put all the drafts on.
Yeah.
So people could watch draft after draft. And there is a market out there that people just enjoy watching drafts.
Yeah, I know.
So we would have 10 episodes if we did that.
Well, we just need to come up with a name and then get a channel started with that name. And then we'll just dedicate this Friday night to that night. And just set it up on its own channel. And you and I will both have control of it, Ed. You can go into it anytime you want. I can go into it anytime I want. It's our channel,
And I
could do a show on Wednesdays at 1:30 in the afternoon on that network.
Yeah, I'll still be at work.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just saying.
So will I, Skipper. Don't feel bad.
At least for 10 more years, damn it.
Holy shit, can you imagine the shorts Ed will come up with for a football channel? I can't wait to see them.
Oh, no.
Well, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, that will be something, Ed.
But yeah, I don't have an issue with giving you guys a hand whenever you need it, neither.
Yeah. Well, you guys know you're welcome anytime.
Yeah, that would really be fun. I agree.
You got the George RB3. Tampa Tom. What's up?
Tampa Tom.
Like I said, what it'll be nice is it won't be attached to our fish channel, so we're not going to be ruining our fish people thinking that we want to keep it separate. There's a reason we're doing this. We want to branch off, have the football station, and this Danikins and Chattanooga Ed and Skippers and whoever else is with us still have their fish channels, and they'll always be fish people. But it's just going to make it more separate, because I know that there's people that are probably coming in tonight even that are thinking this is a normal Danikin stream. All right, let's talk some fish, and we're talking football. So we're gonna branch out and do other things. I can see where that could be a problem. If you're a fish head and you want to come talk fish, I can see where it would be an issue. So
yeah.
Can Ryan be in the league?
We'll still promote that channel on ours whenever we do live streams. Be like, listen, if you want to talk football, we're all over here on this channel, to help bring, give them the option, like, because a lot of these guys watch it too, you know what I mean?
Can Ryan come on this network?
Yeah, of course.
You can call it the network.
Can Ryan come on? Oh my God. Oh.
The Aquatic Football Network.
We'll call it the FFL Network. Fish Fam League Network.
Nice.
FFL.
Actually, I like it.
I do too.
That's what we'll call ourselves, FFL Network.
Wow.
And Jimmy and I we'll do a old timer talking during the middle of the week sometime.
Old timer talk. Wow. Skipper.
Damn.
Listen, he's just trying to respect his elders, all right? It's all good.
That's
Oh,
elder
my
abuse,
goodness.
is what that is.
No, I fit in there too.
Old time. Yeah, you just wheel me in at old timer talk with Jimmy.
Let's see.
I know what you mean, Ed.
I've been playing fantasy football for 33 years now.
Yeah,
That's
if you started when it first came out, I guess that's what would be me.
You would
too.
have to get a USA Today on Monday.
That's right.
Or no, it was Tuesday because you'd have Monday night games. So you would get on the Tuesday, they would have all the stats for the week in the USA Today. And everybody had in the league that wanted to see their stats would have to get a USA Today because there was always typos.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a typo in the USA Today, that's what happened. But they never had typos like local newspapers and stuff.
Right.
My gosh, that was looking back on that. My gosh,
The fantasy football started 33 years ago.
It probably started before that. Well, there was this thing called rotisserie baseball.
right?
That started back in maybe the 70s. And because baseball it maybe even started before that. Baseball was just a huge part of the culture in the earlier years of sports. And people didn't have internet games and stuff. So like old guys that were retired would draft baseball teams and combine the scores and they'd listen to the radio and write down their scores against each other and stuff. Well, then from that, it grew into fantasy football kind of like in the late 80s.
I did not know that.
And I don't know exactly when it started. I did a speech on it. I was actually asked to go to a college and it was for some public speech class. I mean, I wasn't taking the class. I was already out, but they asked me to come in and do like a half-hour talk on fantasy football. So I went way in depth on it.
I wonder what year it started, because it got real big once it hit the internet because people are easier to communicate.
It was Yahoo that really grabbed it because Yahoo did such a great job. And then the NFL Network has a free page. CBS Sports did one, but they charge you. And it's like $20 a team. And so I've only been in that one a couple times because it wasn't worth the money when you have Yahoo doing everything for free.
Right. I agree.
I'm trying to remember the one I liked. One of my favorite leagues that our league finally disbanded was the Keeper League, Ben, where you got to keep, I think it was 3 or 4 players each year from the year before, which made it interesting, especially if you took a chance on a rookie. Like when I was in that league, I had Big Ben, I had Adrian Peterson, I had Randy Moss, I had Jerry Rice, all on the one team. So I dominated for 6 straight years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then Rice got old and I had to replace him. So I let him go. That one hurt, letting him and Moss both go. I hated it when I let them go. But
they were good, man. Oh, freaking Rice.
And I had Tony Gonzalez for my tight end. I mean, that team, you could never build a team like this again. I mean, it was awesome.
Didn't Jerry Rice go to the Raiders and then he stopped? That's where he retired.
Yeah,
and he didn't do bad there.
To put a lot of people in retirement.
We're sorry, Ryan. Very sorry.
But I mean, I was trying to think, where did he leave off at, and it was the Raiders. I remember it. I was like, man, they got something good.
Him and Tim Brown were together. And the game that they went to a Super Bowl, I watched something a few months ago, and they thought it was rigged. Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, because of the play calling.
There's a Super Bowl. This is why I despise the Cowboys. So it was when Neil O'Donnell was a quarterback and the Cowboys and the Steelers were together in the Super Bowl. I am telling you, Jerry Jones paid him off because every time he threw an interception, he threw it right to that dude's bread box. And I'm like, and that's what lost the Super Bowl for them. I was like, this shit. I was like, it's rigged. I said, it's bad. And I was like, I'm done with the Cowboys. It's like, I really hate them now. because of that game. And then he didn't play for the Steelers after that. He went to the Jets.
Well, look at that. It looks like George RB3 is a Raiders fan. So him and Ryan can be best buddies. They can go out for pizza and watch the games together.
I think that's why he's saying that he wants to be Ryan's best friend.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really good that somebody's willing to do that.
Ryan's actually got a table. He's going to the same event I'm going to in 2 weeks. We both are going to be vendors at this swap here in Oregon. Last time we had 21 vendors, and I think this time we have 40, close to 40 vendors for this event.
Wow. Can you guys see tables next to each other?
I don't know if we will now because he came on board kind of late. So I don't know if they'll, because I already got, it's me, Ryan Mackey, John Vahey. I'm hoping they'll put them in the same general area because, I mean, we'll all, there's like 6 people or 7 people from the club all going to be at the tables.
Well, all those people you just mentioned, I like Ryan the most. So I would have him next to you so that way, because you know you can trust him if you got to go get like a pretzel or go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
you can hear
true.
Ryan watch your
We did a
stuff.
clean house down there. The last time we did this event, and people that had plants did very well, and that's kind of Ryan's wheelhouse. So he'll probably.
Was that the place where you and Shannon were streaming, and it was in a basement
Yes, but
somewhere?
this is a rotating swap. Every 3 months, they go to a different town, a different venue.
Yeah.
So, like, eventually, they'll make it up here to Portland too. So.
I remember that stream. That was funny because it kind of looked a little shady.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it
that
did.
place was sketch. That place was sketch. But you know what, dude? I did quite well. I think we made just shy of $1,000 that weekend.
Yeah.
Holy
You got-
heck.
I remember you saying that.
Jennifer Weaver wants to let Kenny know she's back, and she says, "Go Eagles!"
Oh,
Oh boy. Jennifer.
I think
No.
she's giving me a little hate because I went for the Giants last week. So she's giving it to me there.
Oh, which reminds
But
me,
just
I
for
was
you,
gonna bring it up
Jennifer, I
too.
wore blue tonight.
we have to do our picks.
Well, I thought that was a bold pick, Kenny, and hey, I gave the Giants a lot better chance than what they look like out there. I'll tell you that.
I went for the Eagles in that game. I got all 4 of my predictions right this week.
Okay, so
Really?
everybody got Kansas City right, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the Philly game, Ed picked Philly, Austin picked Philly, Kenny picked New York, and Skipper picked Philly. And then the Buffalo-Cincinnati game, everybody picked Cincinnati. That's
I told
crazy.
you. I knew that was going to happen.
And then the 49ers Cowboys game, everybody picked the 49ers. Dude, we're better than these TV people.
I know, right?
So
That's funny.
So,
Now-
Ed, you start us off this week. Who you taking on the Philadelphia San Francisco game?
I'm going to go. Ooh, that's a good game.
It's going to be a strong defensive game. I
That's
can
a-
actually say I bet you it's going to be hard pressed. I bet you there's only like 27 total points scored in this game.
I'm picking Philly because I like Philly more than San Francisco in real life.
Well, that's a dumb reason, but okay.
Right. But I'm going to pick Philly because
It's a Frisco burger versus a Philly cheesesteak. I'm going to
Well,
take the Philly cheesesteak over the Frisco burger.
Well, I forgot who I was talking to. Yeah, okay.
No, Jimmy, you're talking all that crap, Ed. Now you make your pick. Then who you going with?
Mhm.
And you're picking for Austin this week.
Well, really? I'm picking for the guy that ain't here. Okay.
Well, that makes sense because you are.
Austin picks the Niners.
Oh,
and I have a lot of reason. I'm close to them out here, and I know a little something something.
I know.
And
I
I'm
hope that they pull it off.
And I'm pretty sure the Niners will take the Eagles. Thank you very much.
Listen.
Take the Eagles to.
I'm going with the Eagles. Okay. The highlights that I seen of that game with the 49ers, the only thing that saved them was their stinking kicker.
Like what now?
Their kicker.
Robbie
It was
Gould?
It was a lot of field goals in that one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
They scored 27 points.
I don't know, that game. Whenever I was watching what I seen of it, they could have did better and they didn't.
All right, Ed, you don't even have to answer the next one. We know who you're going with.
I still have to write it down because it feels good to.
Ed's gonna probably go the Chiefs. So Skipper, Cincinnati at Kansas City. Who you going with?
Oh, this is easy for me.
I'm going with the Bengals.
All right. I want to this way I can increase my odds. Oh, Austin is here.
And Austin did go 49ers.
Okay. Good deal. Well, good
Well,
job.
there you go. So I get my own vote.
Yeah.
And he says he wants the Chiefs.
See?
And
well, he'll be glad that I wasn't picking for him because I'm
I'm
going
surprised the
Cincinnati.
other Ryan hasn't spoke up. He's in here tonight too. He should tell us who he's going with.
what did Kenny E say?
Kenny E believes there is going to be a San Francisco Cincinnati Bengal rematch, and I believe the Cincinnati Bengals are going to take the Super Bowl.
It's awesome. Since Kenny E's only got half as many wins as the rest of us, I figure you vote opposite.
Let me tell you something, guys. In case you haven't been watching, that Joe Burrow kid is a pretty damn good quarterback.
And Ed,
Yep.
no offense, but what's your record against Joe Burrow?
Yeah, he's
And within the last year, 0-3.
You're 0
I mean,
3.
He
Yep.
he is,
And what's the most he's ever scored against us?
Ed, that doesn't matter. Any given
He's
Sunday.
barely skated by, and two of them were with a bad reffing team, the same ref that obviously bets against the Chiefs or something. I don't know. There's some money going in that ref's pocket.
This game.
Come on, Ed. Just admit they're a good team, man. Don't diss
Oh,
them.
Cincinnati is a very good team.
Mhm.
They're very good. I think Cincinnati has a chance to win against Philadelphia. Probably not against the 49ers.
Well, it's all
So,
about matchups.
49ers defense is good, man.
It's all about
Yeah.
Their
matchups.
defense is strong.
Yeah, except when the Chiefs play them and they put up like 44 points against them.
I'm gonna even go out on a bigger limb, Ed, and say that Mr. Burrow is gonna throw for 4 and run for 1.
I think he might throw for 4 interceptions also. I don't know if he'll fumble for 1 though.
No, he's gonna. This kid is. I'm telling you, he's amazing. He really is. I've
got
seen a
another
lot of
Austin?
quarterbacks, Ed.
Austin,
know.
we're going for about 15 more minutes, man. He's asking how much longer are y'all staying live?
Burrows kind of reminds me of Dan Marino. Really
Well,
good, but he never can win the big game.
I don't know.
I was
Well,
just
he's
being
only
mean to
been
Dan
to
Marino.
one
I
big
love Dan
game.
Marino.
Ed, he's only been to one big game so far.
Well, and that's
Ed.
the same as Marino.
Do one of you guys got the ability to send Austin the link? Because I can't get off of here. I'm going to go out of the stream.
I can.
I can't.
Oh wait, can I?
I don't have them on Facebook or anything. I don't think.
I do. Okay, let me. I can do it. I just have to go to Facebook, and I have to hit.
Ed's getting kind of sassy. You know that?
Ed's getting pretty. I'm pretty proud of Ed. He's become quite tech savvy in the last year. I mean, I'm having to call Ed to figure out how to do stuff now. That's how good he's getting.
Oh my.
Copy link. No copy.
Oh, shut
Okay.
up, Edwards.
Did he just tell me to shut up?
No.
No, my wife. She's giving me crap
Oh.
over here. She goes, or it just shows how illiterate you are.
Oh.
Gotta love her.
Not saying illiterate.
Yes, you did. As far as I just took it that way then. Mm.
Gosh. You two, you're just a couple crazy kids. You know that?
Yep. we can-
I did it all by myself.
Wow.
Oh, but now I lost my chat window. I think I can bring this back up. There we go. And I got my chat window back up too. It's amazing what you can do with a mouse.
So,
And
Ed
by
said
the
to
way,
Lorraine-
Ed, I happened to be watching you and Lefty today, and you two were looking up the odds on the Chiefs and Bengals,
Yeah. I thought that
and you said the Chiefs are -1 something and the Bengals are plus something. That means the Chiefs are favored in that game.
yeah. Well,
It's
I
been
didn't look it
bouncing,
up.
though.
It
One
was
minute
Lefty
the
looking
Bengals
it up.
are -1, then it's the Chiefs -1. Vegas odds are up and down all week on this game. This is the closest AFC Championship game they've had to bet on in a long time, and it keeps
I
bouncing
didn't look-
back and forth.
I didn't look it up. That was Lefty. And I was trying to explain it, but he was kind of confusing me with his numbers that he was saying. But
Right.
I thought the Bengals were favored to win.
Well, the numbers that Lefty gave out, the Chiefs were favored at that time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But only by 1.5. And normally they give the home crowd team a 3-point advantage. So you could also say
How you doing,
Might be,
Austin?
their
All
advantage.
right, how are y'all? Sorry, go ahead, Ed.
Hi, Austin. I was just going over points.
Eddie's
So,
a
Austin, what are you
Greek.
doing?
Say again. Oh, my mic not
So
on.
how about them Packers, Austin?
Yeah.
Oh
We hear
man,
you,
that's
Austin.
topic and a half right now.
What do you think the Packers are going to do at quarterback next year?
Oh man, honestly, we could do a stream all by that itself with all my opinions on that, and well, we could do a stream
We're
all
gonna
about
have to.
Rodgers by itself. Honestly,
I'm going to start the
you say?
campaign. Cousins to Green Bay. Cousins to Green Bay.
I don't usually like to swear on streams, but up to no, hell no. I'd rather take my chances of Jordan Love.
Oh my God!
But I mean, honestly, I can't remember who it was in the chat.
Well, there's
but I
all
was-
there's kinds of
But yeah, I was walking down there. Somebody in the
there's
chat
all kinds
was
of
talking-
talk out here on the West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast
I think you must be on delay. Okay.
must be.
Yeah, I do apologize, all. Like I said, this isn't a normal stream, but tonight we had our internet knocked out by somebody digging something up the road. They're doing a trench of some sort, and they knocked the internet out. So we are on a 5G network.
I'll say this much about Aaron
I-
Rodgers. The main thing is if he comes back, cool. Let's get the best team around him as possible and let's ball out. But if he doesn't and we go with Jordan Love, then in some ways I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm, as a fan, personally thankful for what he's all done and all that. And as
You
I've
know,
been
a
to-
realistic scenario I could see, Austin,
what would
and I
that be?
think you'd be a perfect fit for Green Bay.
Who?
Jimmy G, baby.
There's talk about that.
The only problem is I just don't see him going to San Francisco. I mean, if you didn't have the emergence of Brock Purdy, I think it'd be a lot more likely. But with what Brock Purdy's doing there now, I just don't see it.
No,
I
I ain't
think
saying
we'll
Rodgers
see a
to Green
swap.
Bay. I'm saying Garoppolo to Green Bay.
Well, I guess that is true. Yeah, Garoppolo is a free agent here this deal, but
Yeah, and if Rodgers decides to retire, bam, you're going to get him relatively cheap compared to the market right now.
I know they're
I
talking
think
about
that'd be
Rodgers
it.
retiring, but honestly, I would be very, very surprised if Rodgers retired. I think he's doing at least 2 more years.
And
I
I'm
think
going
it'd
to
probably be with the Raiders.
I don't know.
here is my prediction where Rodgers is going to end up, and nobody's going to like it up here in Seattle. I think Denver's going to give Russell Wilson the boot, and Aaron Rodgers ends up in Denver, influenced by no other than John Elway. Come on and win a couple more championships with us, because Denver is another team that's right there.
True.
That might be the tool they need.
I know somebody here in the chat was even asking me earlier as I was trying to log on about the Jets. And honestly, I don't hate the idea of Rodgers going to the Jets. I mean, their offensive line is a little suspect with the Jets. But, I mean, they have a great rookie running back with Breece Hall. They have 2 great young receivers in Elijah Moore. And I can't remember the guy, but they just drafted him last draft. But
Well, I'll tell you right now, I would not mind seeing another famous Green Bay quarterback in purple. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he'll end up. I think he's going to be a Raider.
I don't think he'll do that. I don't think he'll do that to it. He will not taint himself going to the Raiders. I don't see him going to the Raiders.
But he would taint himself with purple.
I could see him. Here's what I could see him going to Denver. I could see him going to New England. Hell, he might even take a shot at Pittsburgh. Who knows? But I don't see him staying in the NFC.
I don't know about Pittsburgh because Kenny Pickett kind of showed some signs at the end of last season. So I don't know if they're going to – I don't know about Pittsburgh. If I was Pittsburgh, I'd want to see more Kenny Pickett.
The kid gets 1 or 2 years under Rodgers and then comes back to the starting thing. How much will that kid learn by having Rodgers as a influence?
Well, they say Jordan Love's come miles under 3 years under him. So, I mean, that would work. The only problem with Pickett, though, is he's already started. Would he though, want to say, like, okay, yeah, you get to learn from the best, but we're taking away your starting role?
Yeah.
Not too many quarterbacks, unfortunately, are going to be on board with that. I mean, yeah, you get to learn behind a Hall of Famer or probably a first ballot Hall of Famer later. But at the same time, it's also like, I've already been starting and I'm already showing you flashes of like, hey, I can do this. But I mean,
Well,
there'd be positive both ways.
At the end of the day, though, the owners don't care about that quarterback's feelings.
Nope.
Any team, I don't care who they have, except Mahomes, Burrows, the guy up in Buffalo, Allen, they all have safe jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But Hurts, the teams that got a good, solid A++ quarterback ain't worried. But anybody else in the league, who would not give up their current situation to have Aaron Rodgers in the house?
Yeah. I mean,
I know my Vikings would love to have him. I'm sure the Bears would love to have him. I know Detroit would love to have him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Detroit would love to have him. The Bears, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think there's a lot of teams that would say no to Aaron Rodgers unless you are the Kansas City Chiefs, unless you are the Buffalo Bills, unless you are the Cincinnati Bengals, and probably the LA Chargers. Other than those 4 teams, who's probably going to say no?
Philadelphia's got a good quarterback, too. I mean,
Jalen Hurts is good, but I mean, look, he's a better dual threat than Rodgers, but is he a better overall quarterback than Rodgers?
I'd still take Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, that one I would say is on the borderline of, okay, you make an argument. I feel like you can make an argument for Lamar Jackson, too. But
fantasy-wise, I mean, he'd be a fool not to take Hurts over Rodgers.
Right.
I don't think Rodgers will end up in Denver because they have a $245 million guaranteed contract with Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have to eat that over the course of the next until 2028.
Oh, right. Lord. They signed him to that kind of money?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
shame on them. Shame on them.
They are stuck with him or young, cheap quarterbacks.
Yeah, we better take them off the list in Denver. Then they ain't going there.
PNW Aqua has and I do see your point there. Here's the thing, though, with Rodgers. If Green Bay is going to trade Rodgers, it makes sense that, okay, if you are going to trade him, it's better to be this year, because the thing is, if they hang on to him after this year, the cap hit he takes has 19.9 million more after next season. So I mean, it's like, if you are going to trade the man, and if we are thinking that it's about time to move on, financially, it needs to be this year. But I said,
And that's
whatever
my
they decide.
opinion right there. That right there being said, a lot of people hate Tom Brady, but
He takes
the
pay cuts
reason
for better
Brady has
players.
the rings on his finger that Rodgers doesn't, many times Brady took a pay cut to bring a good player in for his team.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
He did do that. Yep.
Yeah, I did.
And I don't fully
Well-
blame it on Aaron Rodgers, too. Part of it is also just because, in terms of our administration office at Green Bay, Ted Thompson, towards the end of his tenure, just refused to take any risks. I'm at the point now where I don't think Gutekunst is too terribly much better either. Not that I think he's worse than Ted, because he's not, but there's just Green Bay's got to learn, if you want to hoist Lombardi. I mean, look at San Francisco this year. Look how much that team turned around when they traded and got McCaffrey on that team. Or like a year ago when the LA Rams, when they brought in Odell Beckham Jr., look how much that team changed.
Yeah.
If you want to get hoisted Lombardi, you got to take some risks. That's just how this game works sometimes.
The year Tampa won the Super Bowl, they had Brown,
Yeah,
even though he turned out to be a pain in their butt at the end. I mean, he still helped get them to that Super Bowl.
he still
He did.
got him a ring. Exactly. I mean, like
Brown
Denver
wasn't
Broncos, Peyton
exactly
Manning a while
prime
ago.
real estate in the time. So
You guys were talking about how good of a guy Brady was for taking pay cuts. He was caught in so many cheating scandals. He's probably taking money under the table.
Here we go.
That's true.
I mean, we know for a fact he was under contract with New England, but he was on a boat in Miami talking a deal. You know, their coach told us. So
hey,
it's
he's
like,
a cheater. He is a cheater.
yeah,
but- He's holding a lot of those up, Ed.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think Rodgers wants out, and I know Rodgers would have to approve a trade, but honestly, I feel like if Green Bay said, I mean, Green Bay right now is given no indication that they want to move on with them, which is kind of mixed, where it's like, okay, if we do, again, you need to put the boys around them. So it's like, we're going to do this, then let's do this. Let's not do this, half-arsed here.
I honestly think the team that is in the best position right now out of all the teams in the NFL are the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm.
They've got an excellent starting quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, and then they've got another guy that for sure could be a good backup, possibly a starter in Lance, and now they got this Purdy kid. They got two quarterbacks they can take and do the Kasplanch on and trade away, get another halfway decent kid in the draft, get another seasoned veteran for a backup,
Yeah.
and you can ride Purdy until he fails,
Yeah.
But
I mean, right now, the way Shanahan has that offense set up right now, Purdy doesn't have to throw 30, 40 passes a game.
in worst case, you're going to get a second round pick for Garoppolo right now. Worst case.
I personally think that, Garoppolo moves on after this season. They might hang on to Lance, but, well, honestly, either Lance or Garoppolo, one of those is heading out this offseason. I don't know if Lance requests a trade or if Garoppolo just signed with a different team, but one of them
My
is leaving this
opinion is they'll both be gone after this year. Trey Lance hasn't put together a season yet, man. He's been in the league. This will be, what is this, his third year? Next year will be the start of his fourth, right?
This might just be number 2, honestly, if my mind serves correctly.
Yeah, first year he spent no time, was on the bench most of the year. This year he's missed more than 50% of the season again. So I don't see either of them in a 49ers outfit next year.
Hey, Peplin Creek says hi, and so does Mexicali Fish Keeper.
What up, good boys?
I was watching some of Mexicali earlier today.
That's the thing that sucks, man, about having a job now. I'm like 8 to 5, so I miss a great deal of the day streams, man, and I miss those.
Yeah.
I have to like cut in real quick, and I'm only there in between our estimates. So, like, I got to catch you and Lefty for a little bit today, and I caught Coldwater for a little bit today. But I got to catch a little bit of Roxanne stream last night, but I keep missing them.
Got some big words here from Scuba Steve-O there in the chat.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's awesome.
What
When
Scuba
I do
saying?
this, that's my jet.
All I will say is this. See, I'm not saying neither team's going to run away with that game, but if you're telling me that the 49ers don't have a chance in that game, you have not watched the last 8-9 weeks.
I'm just going to say one thing, boys. Purdy is 12-0 as a starter, and I think he's proven himself as a starter now.
And not even Purdy. I mean, both teams have a fantastic defense. If you're asking me, though, I mean, Philadelphia by far, I think, has the better run game by far because Purdy would prefer to sit in the pocket and sling it.
Okay, let's just break this down. Let's break this down real quick. Okay. Quarterback. We'll give a little bit of edge to
Yes. I would give a
Philadelphia.
little bit of the edge to Philadelphia on the quarterback.
Running back. Definitely 49ers.
Yeah, with McCaffrey
yeah.
and Elijah Mitchell, absolutely. I mean, Miles Sanders is good for Philadelphia. Don't get that.
Receivers.
A.J.
Hello?
Brown. He's
You got
insane.
A.J. Brown and Smith, or you got Debo.
Or you got
Debo.
Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, and who are you going to take for tight ends? That's not even close.
Oh, I don't know, buddy. I would take Goddard's a damn good tight end. So
That's true. I
think
did
it's-
forget about Goddard.
I think it's about an even.
Goddard was a
even on
Cowboy.
tight ends,
I'm
and
stupid.
even Steven on receivers, right?
Yep.
So the offensive line, they both got strong offensive lines at the moment.
Right.
So there's no winner there, right? Defense, I think defensively they're pretty evenly matched as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's going to
Both
come
have
down to
good
special
rushes, both have
teams.
good secondaries.
Yeah, special teams. Again, I give the edge to the 49ers. I think they got more to offer on the special team side of things.
Okay.
So that's why I'm going with the 49ers. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be like 17-10 type of game, and I think you're going to see some hardcore, old-fashioned, smack you in the mouth football.
I definitely think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I'm going to say, though,
Are we writing down scores now?
I'm going to say San Francisco 24, Philadelphia 21.
What was Kenny's prediction?
17-10, San Francisco.
I think I don't know. I mean, scores and such. I don't know. We can use that as a tiebreaker, I guess.
No, I'm not doing scores. I'm not good at that part.
Fair enough.
That's when it comes to this. This is the fight to the finish. It
Yeah.
could be anything. It could be a close game. It could be a shutout. You just don't know.
I'd be very surprised if any of them were lopsided. I think Bengals, Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, I think both of these games are just going to be an absolute dogfight.
Oh, it's going to be a fight. I guarantee it. It's
Yeah,
going to
these
be a
are
fight.
two very, very good games.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And I
And they all
was
start-
teetering between Kansas City and Cincinnati, but with Patrick Mahomes' injury, I just got to give the edge to Cincinnati now. I think Mahomes is doing a good job with the media, but I think that boy might have Achilles injury along with that high ankle sprain. I just have a feeling.
Go ahead, Ed. Tell him about Mahomes coming off an injury.
Well, last time he came off of a sprained ankle, he threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. But
Well, I hope
I don't want anybody to know that. I just want everybody to think Cincinnati's going to win. So that way Mahomes has something to play for, because Mahomes is great as an underdog. He is the best underdog quarterback there is.
Don't
You
get me
think
wrong.
he's
I
an
love
underdog though anymore.
Point and a half, and then with Cincinnati saying how it's now bagel head instead of arrowhead, bagel head or something they're saying.
Oh,
and
no.
stuff.
Spindlehead.
I love it. They need to have as many people say Cincinnati is going to win as possible. All the news broadcasts and stuff, they're picking the Cincinnati about. It looks like about a 70-30 pick right now on, channels. So I love it because that just motivates those, Mahomes, because he's so much better on the road. It's insane. I hate it when he's a huge favorite at home because that's when we lose.
Mm-hmm.
We don't lose on the road, and we don't lose when we're the underdog.
Yeah.
We lose when we're picked to win big. And it's like,
so we gotta start getting this wrapped up real quick.
well, I said
before
Philadelphia, 34-10, Philadelphia.
Wow.
Who are you guys? Okay, Skipper, you didn't give us your score. What do you think the score is going to be?
I don't do scores. I can't.
Jimmy, you going to throw it out there?
Philadelphia. I'm real close with what Austin said. I think it's going to be in the low 20s. So
Thinking 24-21 as well.
that's pretty. Yeah, it could even be a 1-point game, but I'm not going to do the math on that. So,
Hey,
I'll just go
2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. It could be 21-20.
Then on the Chiefs Bengals.
I'll go with
game,
same as Austin.
I think it's going to be 35-31 Bengals.
Well, that's very conceivable. I mean, it is.
What score did he say?
35-31
Bengals.
I always like to throw one field goal in there somewhere,
I agree. Because usually a field goal sometimes, I mean, here's the thing. Field goals are good, but the fact is, if your other team gets, scores on the same amount of possessions, but turns them all into touchdowns rather than field goals, that's the difference.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Points are good, but touchdowns are better.
And Ed,
I know some people are probably like, thank you, Captain Obvious, but I know.
no, a lot of it is obvious, Austin. I mean, it's just logic is what it is. Ed,
What
did
are
you
you
pick the
thinking,
score?
Ed?
My
What
score
score
for
are
the
you
Chiefs
thinking, Ed?
game is
Here it
42 Chiefs, 28 Bengals.
Oh, my.
Wow,
Ooh, 2
3
touchdowns.
touchdowns? Really?
When's the last time they scored 42 points,
Wow.
Well, they scored 44 against the number 1 defense in the league, San Francisco, a few weeks back.
Yeah, but that wasn't with Purdy.
Yeah, because he plays great defense.
I said that wasn't with Purdy playing is why.
Yeah, because he
Okay.
plays defense for them.
Okay, well, we know Ed is picking with his heart, so let's have a real sensible pick from Austin.
I'm a sensible pick. You have no idea how screwed we are. But I'm going to keep the trend going. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think both teams hit the 30s, mid to higher 30s. I'm going to say Kansas City 38, Cincinnati 34.
Oh,
Boy, that's right there. Yeah, except I would go the other way around.
So
72 points total. I said 70 in that game scored.
Yeah, but you gave 42 of them to the Chiefs. Yeah.
Peplin, I was waiting for you, dude. I was waiting for you to bring it up.
yeah, I knew he would.
So I know Brian being a Jets fan, when he saw me under, it's like, it's only a matter of time before he asks.
So this is how I'm going to do it because I don't do scores. So the first game at 3:00 is your Niners and Eagles. That's, to me, that's going to be a touchdown game. And I think the Chiefs and the Bengals is going to be a field goal game.
Okay.
It might.
So
come
what I'm
down
going to
the
do is I'm
final
going to say
field goal,
plus
honestly.
3. You're going to get plus 3 for one and plus 7 for the other.
Yep. That's what I'm going with because from what I've seen on all 4 teams, they are all hungry. It's going to be a fight. It's
now,
going
the one thing I want us
I
to
think it's going to
do
be a fight.
before we go into the Super Bowl week, I personally already gave you mine. I'm thinking Bengals for the Super Bowl. Each of you go around who you think's going to win the Super Bowl.
I didn't give my
We're
score
gonna
on
miss
the
out on a
Chiefs
whole
yet.
show.
Yeah, it's a
We're
whole
gonna miss
different-
out on our show next week.
That's
if we
next
do
week's
that.
show.
I didn't give my Chiefs score, Ed.
Oh my gosh. Let's hear the Chiefs score.
I'm going to go 38-31 Bengals.
Ooh. Okay.
Good deal. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
And there's
It'll
my
be fun if we
there's my
pick
4
now.
touchdown passes and 1 running in right there.
I think if you guys pick now, it'd be interesting because if your pick goes out next week, then you could have a chance to redeem yourself with picking
Oh,
the
I
real.
see what you're saying.
Okay.
So what? I see you're saying what out of the 4 teams, who you think's going to the Super Bowl, and
Correct.
then next week we'll do who do we think's winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
And he's coming up with this because right now, Ed's won 8 games, Austin's won 8 games, Skipper's won 8 games, and Kenny's won 5. He's pulling in an extra game.
I think it's cool though. I mean, that's a good thing.
It's funny. Ed's like, Austin's got 8 games. I got 8 games.
I know why, because Ed wants to pick the Chiefs, and if they get beat by Cincinnati this week,
It's like everyone's got 8 wins, and then there's Kenny.
But if you think about it, we technically
Um,
already picked. Well, the 4 of you did. Me personally, I think it's going to be a Pennsylvania-Ohio game this year. Philly and Cincinnati. That's who's going to the Super Bowl.
I will
Well, that
say
would
this.
be a great game too. It would. I mean, I don't think we're going to end up with a bad Super Bowl. What do you think?
No.
No. Either way, they're all fighting. It's going to be a brutal one this year, I think.
Well, I'll have a lot of depression, but
Oh, well, we don't. You're the only one with a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
Ed, as a friend, I'm rooting for your Chiefs. I really am. But
thank you, sir.
in reality, you're 0-4 with our first quarterback.
And in reality, that is what I want to hear.
Right.
Dead serious.
Right.
I want Mahomes to think that there's no chance he can win.
I mean,
Whatever
here's the
helps
thing.
you win, Ed.
It's one
I
thing to
hope
be a team
next
fight for
weekend
1
that
year.
you're up here telling me what you got to say now, Kenny. I hope I see it next week. I really do.
Listen,
Me
I
too.
ain't gonna lie. I'd be happy if Kansas City went to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I got a gut feeling. I have a sixth sense that's going to be the Super Bowl.
I think Niners and the Chiefs would be. I think that'd be pretty epic. You got a team that has an amazing pass rush that's going to get pressure on Mahomes. And, I mean, Mahomes sometimes just pulls a rabbit out of the hat on that. Other times, lesser decisions are made. But
The
But I
other
think
exciting
overall,
thing could
two
be, Austin, if
high-powered
you think about it,
offenses.
though.
Mhm.
What do you think about Purdy going back to the Midwest for the Super Bowl? I mean,
I'd love
going
it.
back and beating
I mean,
the Ohio
if it wasn't
team to
so
win
many
the Super
expensive,
Bowl,
I'd
I
love
think
to
that'd be
watch it.
pretty epic.
That would be.
He might
Yeah,
have
this
some
is
bad
real-
blood with Ohio from his football days in Iowa there.
Right?
Yeah, this is really going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
I mean, yeah, a Cyclone thrown to a Hawkeye, too, because George Kittle's a Hawkeye, or former Hawkeye, rather. So the whole, I can tell you right now, it's almost like Max Duggan all over again, only NFL. The whole state of Iowa is kind of rooting on San Francisco,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is very, very complicated for us Packer fans because the Niners have hurt us so many times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like, it's like, I can't go against my all my Cyclones keep going to all these dang teams. Kenny Nwangwu to Kenny's Vikings up there. Lazard's the only one that doesn't hurt me when he was with Packers, but he's probably going to a different team next year. David Montgomery, a running back, he's with the Bears. And then, yeah, you got Purdy at the Niners. It's like, why must you all go to teams that hurt me?
That's true.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. It's going to be a fun stream next week.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen what would have happened to Kansas City this year if Devontae Adams would have landed in Kansas City. I think we'd be talking a whole different ball of wax, which from what I hear could have happened at one point, but it didn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the next thing though. Do you think they get Smith-Schuster still if they also get Adams?
Who would you rather have?
Well, I mean, I can tell you, yeah, who you'd rather have. I'm asking, do you think they'd get both?
I think it would have been cool for Devontae and what's that other kid? The other kid that came from Green Bay that's there already.
Oh,
He was your number 2 receiver last year behind Devontae Adams.
you're not talking Lazard, are you?
No, Lazard wasn't your second string. It was the other kid that's at Kansas City now. What's the guy's name, Ed?
MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
There you go. That's the guy.
I don't think
He's
he'll be on our
already in
team next
Kansas
year.
City.
Yeah,
I think he might be a casualty.
that
Who?
was kind of a problem with him in Green Bay.
You think
$15
he's
million
done?
for what he did this year wasn't worth it. He dropped so many balls.
Well, that's what
always
he
been
did
his
in Green
problem.
Bay.
Yeah,
I was actually sad to see him go from Green Bay, really.
yeah. I was hoping that he
I
would
wasn't.
really improve, but he didn't really improve a lot.
I was going to say, congratulations, Casey. You can have him. I
That
usually
one
look
made
at
up.
the Packer players. It's like the dude had potential, but he could just never get rid of the drop issue. So it's like, nope, congrats, Casey. You can have him.
Yeah,
Peplin made a pretty good point. Yeah, he said if the Chiefs had Adams' money, they would have kept Hill.
yeah. You're
I
right.
mean, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams on the same team. Ain't nobody covering that receiver core.
Honestly, Tyreek Hill helped the Chiefs so much this year. It's unbelievable. I mean, we have the second youngest team. We're like in a rebuilding year, and we're hosting the championship game, conference championship game on a rebuilding year. It's insane. It's cool. I mean, almost all of our team is second and first year players, or a huge number of them. And
Yeah, you have
It's
it. Your
exciting.
your secondary is going to be the next few years really good.
it's exciting. I'm
So-
lucky to be a Chief, but for all the years that they sucked, I'm finally getting a little payback. So everybody who has a horrible team out there, hopefully your turn comes. Peplin, hopefully you guys get another Joe Maneth someday.
Except the
Right
Bears.
now, the
Sorry, Rico.
Steelers might as well hang it up.
Yep, except the Bears. Sorry, Rico.
Well,
Steelers,
guys, I sure appreciate it. We should start to wrap it up in case somebody is streaming right now. We're on top of them.
June is.
We don't want to be like those other guys that stream over other people's streams. We want to be the good guys. So
Only Oscars. is
Bad guys
going
have all the
right
fun.
I'm not seeing anybody at the moment.
I think only Oscars is going.
She was going earlier, Ed,
Oh, okay.
long before the Fish Family Christmas show was on.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
If I may, though, real quick, Peplin, because I know you answered a while ago.
actually,
If the Jets want Aaron Rodgers, at least one first-round pick and another first or a second round with it, maybe conditional with it, he's yours.
oh, Austin, you're gripping now.
Oh boy,
Rodgers
Chiefs
ain't worth
still have
he ain't
12
worth
picks next
two
year.
number one picks, man.
He's a four-time MVP.
Oh my, yeah, keyword was a 4-time MVP.
His last two MVPs are within the past 3 years. And I mean, yeah, I know he didn't do that great this year, but he also had a bad thumb.
I
And
get
hopefully
it.
he retires as a Jet, so that way you have another
I
Jet
think
in the Hall of
if
Fame.
they could get a number one pick, maybe they kick him over one of their good running backs. I think that'd be plenty. Because that's what Rodgers probably going to demand to be traded. I either get to take Jones or I get to take Dylan with me. So
well, if he leaves the Packers, I'm predicting it will be the Jets.
And I
that's-
see Peplin.
that's
I
the hot- That's
I
the
can
hot
see
talk
that.
out here on the West Coast, anyway. That he's going to
I
the
see
Jets.
Peplin saying, I really don't want another washed Packer on my team. It's like, I see your point, Brian, but you really want to
what's
stay with Zach
cracking me up, and
Wilson?
we're all evading the idea of something else that just popped in my head.
Uh-oh.
Stafford sure looked like crap last year, didn't he?
He did.
Yep.
Well, the Rams were all in for one season. They got the Super Bowl, and then they paid for it.
You don't think they'll go after Rodgers if they had the opportunity? Oh, I think they would.
Yeah.
The Vikes?
I'm
You
not
also have
hearing,
Atlanta that needs a quarterback too.
I'm not
Rodgers would
hearing
never
anything
agree to
about
Atlanta right now. They don't have enough pieces. So
Rodgers is an old cowboy. You don't think he'd love the opportunity to go play in LA Stadium as an old cow guy?
Oh, I heard you say Cowboys for a minute, and I was about to say, I thought you were about to say Dallas. Like, Kenny, don't.
No. Although I don't think Jerry would be that committed to Prescott anymore if he had a chance at Rodgers for a couple of years. He's seen what Dak does in big situation. Choke.
Folds like a cheap suit.
He folds faster than
not
Kirk
again last
Cousins, and that's pretty hard to beat, boys.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy.
Peplin, there's no, I mean, if it wasn't for Brock Purdy, then he might have been a Niner. But with Brock Purdy now at the San Francisco 49ers, I think there's absolutely zero chance that happens now.
Yeah, he's not going there. At
I
least
mean,
not
Niners
this
have already
year.
said they're going with Brock Purdy to start the next season. I mean, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Little
And-
reverse psychology. The Packers are going to give up a number one, trade Rodgers for Purdy, come to Green Bay.
That'd be nice. No.
I mean, as an inner Cyclone fan, I'd love to see him play for the Packers, but if they gave Rodgers and a first-round pick, I'd probably be driving to Wisconsin to join the angry mob.
Wow.
Don't worry, Peplin. I'll say hi to you and Foxy on the way there.
All right, guys. Well, we should probably get to wrapping her up. Any last words by anybody?
Thank you
Well-
for letting us do this.
Yes, this is fun. I love it.
The Chiefs had a good season, Ed.
Oh man.
Thank you.
Oh man, are you going there? It's not over
Oh,
Oh, listen, Jimmy P yelling for the freaking
Okay. I'm looking
I'm
at
sorry.
Ed's notebook right now. No Jimmy P ever again.
Oh, my
I got it, Ed.
No, they did have a great season.
They did.
They
They did.
listen,
Hey, I'm not
oh,
lying. I'm not
I
lying.
mean, think about the all four teams. All four of them had a great season. That's
Yes, they have.
Well, and Cincinnati got ripped off of a game even.
awesome. Yes, they did. And I told you the Bills were going to lose.
And they deserved it.
Wow.
Listen,
Well-
people get hurt in the NFL. It just happened to be a freak accident.
Yeah.
They were high for 2 games after that, and then
Did
the
you-
high went away.
Could you imagine the armed forces if somebody got shot? They'd say, "Oh, we got to stop the war because somebody got hurt."
Nope.
Those men keep going. In
That's
hockey,
right.
well, I'd like to say in every sport, but maybe not. Maybe they've all gotten soft. But in hockey, at least they're still tough. But yeah,
Uh-oh.
NFL's got a
Skipper,
long
get
way
the
to go
call.
if they're going to catch up to how soft the NBA can be, though.
Oh,
I
Ryan said
gave up.
my
on that.
comment is something like he got kicked off the show for. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that Ed was so sensitive.
Well, yeah, neither did I. I'm sorry, buddy. I probably just ignored it because he said Raiders.
Oh, should we
He
should we
said,
start holding hands and singing Kumbaya now or what?
Oh my God.
he said the R word. You can't say the R word.
I try to get Ryan to come up every week.
My point is I don't dwell on the past. I don't care what you did last week, last year, whatever. I just feel I'm using the old cliche of I think this is the Bengals' year to win. That's it. Period. And that's what I'm going
And
with.
I would like to see Joe Burrow get one. He deserves one.
And I think
For
he
no
will
other
get one.
reason. I'm not
I think
using
Joe Burrow
any
will get multiple.
I'm not putting anything else into it, Ed. Okay? It's just
Oh,
the
that's totally cool.
the
I want a
Chiefs-
lot of people to say that.
The Chiefs got their Super Bowl a few years ago. You know what's funny, Ed? Actually, the Chiefs being one of the 4 teams is probably the least surprising. Right?
Oh, I agree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we
no,
expected the
that's-
Chiefs to be here. They've been here
So
this
it's
5
kinda
years in a row.
like-
That's unprecedented.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
they've become the new Patriots and nobody likes them.
Yeah, but we don't cheat.
No, we can't get that. No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
joking. I'm joking.
I'm sorry. I'm with that on this one. We can't do that to the Chiefs.
No, I'm
That's
joking.
a totally different realm.
I'd rather be lumped with the Cowboys or the Pittsburgh Steelers than them, but yeah, for great
Yeah.
eras.
Can't
But
do
put it this
Yeah.
way: we have a young man in the media right here. The real story is not the Chiefs winning this year. The big story would be one of the other three teams winning. What do you
And
think? Austin?
you can't help to
Hmm?
think what a rush it would be for Purdy to win a Super Bowl in this. He gets drafted. I mean, I almost want to see that headline
Yeah.
too. Goes from Mr. Irrelevant to Super Bowl MVP. I mean, what is that for selling tickets, huh?
Yeah, I agree.
From Mr. Irrelevant to Super Bowl. And here's the next thing. What if he wins Super Bowl MVP on top of it? They don't just win the Super Bowl, but Purdy is the Super Bowl MVP. In less than a year, you go from Mr. Irrelevant in the draft to a potential Super Bowl MVP, which I feel like if the 49ers would beat the Bengals or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they would need a big game from Purdy. Like, this would be one game where it's like, okay, in the past games, we haven't needed you to go out and throw 30 to 40 passes. We're going to need you to do that this game because the Chiefs, they're putting up at least 3-4 touchdowns. The Bengals, same thing. They're going to put up at least 3-4 touchdowns in that game. So, I mean, Purdy, he's going to have to sling it a few times, regardless of who they would potentially play. But, of course, they got to
Does he with that defense and McAfee there now?
That story is almost as good, but not quite as good as a Kirk Warner story.
It's close. Yeah, it's close.
But Kirk Warner was old when he did it. He was totally thrown in the garbage when he showed up. Arena League, Barnstormers.
Yep, that's what he was doing. Well, hey, it's been a real kick.
Austin, you didn't get to say anything for your closing statement, Austin. What you got for us?
Oh, I
No
mean,
pressure.
in terms of the channel here, I mean, still working on this, which, as you can see, it's got air in it now. Trying to get some heaters for it, if not tomorrow, Sunday. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I can start moving my Maboo puffer over to the 510 here. We can start putting some life in this.
Nice.
That'll be so cool. That's so cool.
Well, outside of some snails that I already put in there, but they're not all that interesting. Good thing Annette's not here.
Snails are a good source of protein.
Skipper, when do you stream again?
I will be streaming this Sunday.
Okay.
I got Big Shrimpin'.
Nice. Big Shrimpin's coming on?
Oh, yeah. He's a good dude. I got to meet him at the beginning of this month at a
I
swap.
could eat some shrimp right now.
Oh. Jimmy, when you streaming in, when's your next stream?
I'm currently not on the schedule. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do here, but I'll be up soon. Right now, I'm just kind of being a guest on everybody's show, aren't I, Ed?
Nice.
Past 2 nights.
Mr. Ed, what are you streaming? I mean, Mr. Streamer, I know you stream for sure. Is it Mondays? I know you do every Thursday. Yeah, you.
My guarantees are Mondays. No, I don't know what I do on Monday. On Thursdays and Fridays.
But you do appearances on just about everything else. Like you were on that Christmas thing night. You got
right, Pam show.
You do Pam on
show.
Saturdays, and then you're usually on the Tennessee Mob on Sunday, right?
Yeah, but I won't be this week.
You'll be
With
watching
my
football.
Chiefs going.
There you go.
I should let Bob know.
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching those 2 games.
And I will be doing a member stream tomorrow at 9 a.m., guys. If you are one of my members, I will be doing a member stream at 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon Eastern. And then, of course, Danny and I go at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights for the normal fish talk. So if you guys like us for our channel for the fish, this is something that me and Ed came up with. We were talking about how long we've been talking about doing this football thing, Ed. I mean,
at least
as
3
long
years.
as I've known you, at least I know we were talking about it in Florida. So, I mean, we've been talking about this for years. So I think you're going to see next year, Ed and I start up an actual sports channel. We're going to keep it sports for now. It sounds like Ed wants to talk about other sports as well, so we might just keep it that. But we'll have to come up with a catchy name, and we'll get it going from there. And then, yeah. So as always, guys, love your fish. Hope your all's teams win this weekend. Ed, got anything for them as we walk out?
Oh, Chiefs. How about them
Austin.
Chiefs?
Austin, Skipper, Jimmy.
I'll even say go Chiefs, Ed.
Y'all have a great night. Peace out.
Well, Pepperling comes in with a number for 23 months. Jets.